The sun had already dipped low behind the oak trees that lined the suburban neighborhood of Willow Creek. The golden hour made every porch glow as if dipped in honey. Sarah Miller, a 34-year-old marketing assistant, leaned against the railing of her townhouse balcony with her phone in hand. She had spent the whole week surviving deadlines, juggling meetings, and chasing emails until her eyes stung from staring at spreadsheets. Tonight, though, was sacred. She wasn't going to cook, wasn't going to argue with her picky appetite, wasn't going to clean a single pan. Tonight was a delivery night. She scrolled her food delivery app like a jeweler eyeing gems, carefully curating her cart. Crispy chicken tenders with honey mustard sauce, curly fries, a large lemonade, and the grand finale, her guilty pleasure, cheesecake with strawberry topping. The order total blinked back at her like a promise. Your comfort is on its way. She tapped confirm, sighed with relief, and plopped down on her gray couch, tugging her hair into a messy bun. Outside, kids on bicycles zoomed by, their laughter echoing across the cul-de-sac. A warm breeze drifted through her open window, carrying the faint smell of someone grilling steaks down the block. By the time the delivery tracker showed "out for delivery," Sarah had already set the stage. Netflix queued, blanket spread, candle flickering on the coffee table. She was ready. Then the doorbell rang. With the excitement of someone greeting a long-lost friend, she practically skipped to the door. A young man with a baseball cap handed her a large brown bag. "Order for Sarah?" "Yes," she said, grinning as if she'd won a prize. She shut the door, settled onto the couch, unrolled the bag, and froze. No chicken tenders, no curly fries, no lemonade. Instead, a family-sized sushi platter. Wasabi, soy sauce, chopsticks, and a handwritten note, "Enjoy your Friday night feast, from the Kim family." Sarah blinked at the rainbow rolls, the raw salmon glistening like it had landed from another planet. She wasn't a sushi person. In fact, the last time she tried sushi, she'd gagged halfway through. "Seriously?" she muttered, tossing her hands in the air. "This week has already been a circus, and now even my dinner betrays me." Charlie, her orange tabby cat, leapt onto the couch, sniffing curiously at the foreign meal as if it were a gift from the gods. Sarah groaned. "You'd eat anything, wouldn't you? Blank, blank. Studio microphone voice over scene 1. Life has a sense of humor, doesn't it? You wait all week for something simple, a warm meal, a little comfort, a moment of rest, and then life delivers the wrong order. Not the crispy chicken tenders you dreamed of, but raw fish staring back at you with soy sauce on the side. But here's the thing. These moments test us. Do we throw a tantrum? Slam the door on Friday night? Or do we laugh, because what else can you do when the universe drops sushi in your lap? Sometimes the wrong order is just the beginning of the right lesson. That our comfort zone isn't always where the magic happens. Stay positive, because what feels like a mistake might be an extra surprise waiting to unfold. Sarah sat staring at the sushi platter like it was a pop quiz she hadn't studied for. "Okay, Sarah," she muttered. "You can either sulk all night and microwave a sad bowl of ramen, or you can." She poked a piece of salmon with her chopsticks and winced. Nope, not happening. Her phone buzzed. It was her best friend, Jason. A 35-year-old paramedic with a sarcastic sense of humor. Jason had a gift for showing up in her life exactly when she needed comic relief. "What's up?" she answered. "What's up is you ignoring my texts all day. Did you get your comfort feast?" "Sort of," she sighed dramatically. "I ordered chicken tenders and cheesecake. I got sushi." Jason burst out laughing so hard she could hear the echo through the phone. "Oh, that's priceless. The universe just told you to stop eating like a 12-year-old. Very funny," she said flatly. "Come on, sushi isn't bad. It's sophisticated, classy. You eat sushi, suddenly you're cultured. You're practically a globe-trotter." "I'm practically nauseous," she muttered. Jason kept laughing. "Look at it this way. Maybe the wrong order is life's way of saying you're ready for an upgrade. Tonight, you get to be adventurous instead of predictable." Sarah sighed but cracked a reluctant smile. She knew Jason was right about one thing. She had been stuck in the same pattern for months. Same meals, same routines, same shows on repeat. Maybe life was nudging her, albeit rudely, towards something different. She took a deep breath, picked up the chopsticks again, and whispered, "Okay, sushi. Don't kill me." Charlie meowed like a cheerleader. We resist what feels unfamiliar. We complain when life gives us what we didn't order because deep down, we cling to what's safe. But growth never happens in safety. Growth happens in discomfort, in trying the sushi when you're a chicken tender soul. It's not about the food, it's about the mindset. When the order is wrong, the challenge is right. Can you find adventure in the unexpected? Can you laugh when your plans collapse? Can you still taste gratitude, even when the flavor is different than you imagined? Because staying positive isn't about forcing joy, it's about being open to surprises. Even the ones wrapped in seaweed. Just as Sarah managed to swallow her first hesitant bite, her phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't Jason. It was an unknown number. "Hello?" she said cautiously. "Hi, is this Sarah Miller?" "This is Rachel Kim. I think our dinner orders got swapped." Sarah sat upright. "Wait, you're the sushi family?" Rachel chuckled on the other end. "Yes. We ordered a sushi feast for our Friday night family gathering, and instead we got a mountain of chicken tenders and fries. My kids are thrilled, by the way." Sarah burst into laughter. "That's hysterical. I was about to write a strongly worded email to customer service." Rachel laughed too. "Honestly, this worked out better for us. We never let the kids have fast food on Fridays. They think it's Christmas morning. I figured I'd call and check if you're okay with sushi." Sarah glanced at Charlie, who was still batting a soy sauce packet across the couch. "Let's just say, it's been an adjustment. Here's the funny part," Rachel continued. "My mom is over tonight, and she said this is a sign we all need to loosen up. She keeps saying, life sends surprises, you either chew or choke." Sarah laughed so hard her stomach hurt. "Your mom sounds like my kind of philosopher." And for the first time all week, the stress in her shoulders eased. Connection is often hidden in the mistakes. A wrong turn, a missed train, a swapped dinner bag, it all opens doors we didn't know we needed. The wrong order wasn't just food, it was laughter shared with a stranger, a reminder that other families face chaos too, and that sometimes, joy comes when expectations break. Stay positive because positivity multiplies. One family's oops becomes another family's story. One lost meal becomes two households laughing together on a Friday night. That's the extra surprise life hides in every wrong order. The next evening, Sarah heard a knock at the door. When she opened it, Rachel Kim stood there holding a small Tupperware container. She was in her late 30s, black hair pulled into a ponytail, casual sweatshirt, warm smile. "I thought I'd bring you something," Rachel said. "Leftover homemade dumplings. My mom insisted. It's her way of saying thank you for trading dinners with us last night." Sarah blinked, touched. "Wow, that's so sweet. Come in for a minute." Rachel stepped inside, glancing around Sarah's cozy living room. They sat and chatted, discovering they both lived just 3 houses apart but had never properly met. By the time Rachel left, Sarah not only had dumplings for dinner but also a new friend in the neighborhood. That weekend, Jason stopped by and saw the container in Sarah's fridge. "Wait, you're telling me one wrong order turned into free dumplings and a new neighbor buddy?" he said with mock envy. Sarah smirked. "See? Stay positive, get dumplings. That's the real American dream." They both burst out laughing until Charlie meowed as if demanding to be included in the joke. Here's the truth. Life's wrong orders can lead us exactly where we belong. The meal you didn't want brings the friend you didn't expect. The frustration you fought yesterday becomes the laughter you share today. Staying positive doesn't erase problems, it transforms them. It says, yes, this isn't what I asked for, but maybe it's what I needed. And when you live with that mindset, every wrong order holds the chance of an extra surprise, one that tastes better than anything you planned. Saturday morning dawned bright and crisp in Willow Creek. The smell of fresh-cut grass lingered in the air, mixed with the distant hum of lawnmowers as neighbors tidied up their yards. Sarah stepped out onto her porch with a mug of steaming coffee in hand, wearing her favorite oversized hoodie and plaid pajama pants. It was the kind of morning that begged for laziness. But before she could settle into her rocking chair, she spotted Rachel Kim across the street, wrangling 2 energetic kids while unloading grocery bags from her SUV. Sarah hesitated for a second, then waved. Rachel waved back with a grin and called out, "Come here. You have to meet my family." Sarah set her mug on the porch railing and crossed the street. The Kim kids, Ethan, age 9, and Lily, age 6, were buzzing with Saturday morning energy, hopping around as if fueled entirely by sugar. Rachel introduced Sarah, and within minutes, Sarah was laughing at Ethan's dramatic retelling of how the wrong chicken tenders had been the greatest night of his life. Just then, Rachel's mom, Mrs. Kim, came outside. She was petite, with silver hair pulled neatly into a bun, wearing a quilted vest despite the sunshine. She eyed Sarah with a knowing smile. "So you were the chicken lady," Mrs. Kim said in a voice that blended sternness with warmth. Sarah chuckled. "I guess that's me." Mrs. Kim clasped Sarah's hand. "Life sends chicken when you order fish, sends fish when you order chicken. Either way, feed your soul, not your complaints." Sarah blinked, caught off guard by the wisdom delivered so casually. She felt a laugh bubbling up, but also an odd sense that Mrs. Kim had just dropped a fortune cookie-level truth bomb directly onto her Saturday. By the time Sarah walked back home, she was smiling. The wrong order wasn't just food, it was now connections, conversations, and a sense that maybe Willow Creek wasn't as lonely as it had felt before. Here's the thing about surprises, they ripple. A wrong order of food can become a right order of friendship, and one awkward laugh can turn into a doorway you didn't know you needed. We often think life's detours are delays. But sometimes, the detour is the destination. You thought you were waiting for comfort food, but what you were really waiting for was comfort in people. Stay positive, because positivity doesn't just shift your mood, it shifts your connections. It brings neighbors closer, strangers into your circle, and laughter into spaces you thought were empty. Later that week, Jason dropped by Sarah's townhouse, still in his paramedic uniform. His boots tracked a bit of dust onto her welcome mat, but his grin made up for it. "So," he said, plopping onto her couch, "tell me more about your new sushi squad." Sarah rolled her eyes but smiled. "They're actually pretty great. I had dumplings for dinner last night, Jason." "Dumplings? Me? The queen of microwave mac and cheese." Jason laughed so hard he nearly dropped his coffee. "See? You're growing. Next week you'll be drinking green tea and writing poetry." Sarah smirked. "Don't push it." Jason leaned forward, suddenly serious. "You know, it's funny. Every shift I see people at their worst moments, accidents, emergencies, chaos. And I've learned something. It's never about what went wrong, it's about how people respond. The calm ones, the ones who keep a little humor, they get through it stronger." Sarah tilted her head, absorbing his words. Jason had a way of cutting through her sarcasm and planting ideas that lingered long after. "You're saying my sushi meltdown was training?" she asked. "Exactly," Jason said, pointing his finger at her like a coach. "If you can stay positive when your chicken tenders turn into raw fish, maybe you'll stay positive when life throws something bigger. That's the muscle you're building." Sarah laughed, but the truth in his words sank in. Maybe positivity wasn't a mood, it was a practice. And maybe this small mix-up had been her warm-up set. Life doesn't train us with grand lessons first. It trains us with small tests, the missed delivery, the wrong order, the unexpected turn. How we handle the small things prepares us for the bigger storms. Staying positive isn't just about optimism, it's resilience practice. It's reminding yourself, I can laugh at the sushi instead of crying about the chicken. Because if you can laugh at small chaos, you're building the strength to face the bigger ones. That's how positivity turns into power. 2 weeks later, Sarah received a flyer in her mailbox. Annual Willow Creek Block Party, potluck, games, and fun. Normally, Sarah would have tossed it aside, claiming she was too busy or too tired. But now? She thought of Rachel, Mrs. Kim, Ethan, Lily, and of course, Jason teasing her endlessly. Maybe this year, she'd actually show up. On the day of the party, the cul-de-sac transformed. Long folding tables were lined with dishes, potato salad, barbecued ribs, homemade pies, and, much to Sarah's delight, Rachel's dumplings. Kids raced around with water balloons, dads manned the grills in baseball caps, and moms lounged in camp chairs, sipping iced tea. Music floated from a neighbor's Bluetooth speaker, classic American rock, the kind that made everyone tap their feet without realizing it. Sarah brought a cheesecake from the local bakery, figuring it was time to contribute something sweet. When she set it on the table, Rachel grinned and gave her a hug. "See? Look at you. From chicken tenders to cheesecake hero." Jason arrived halfway through, and together they joined in a game of cornhole, laughing until Sarah's stomach hurt. For the first time in months, she felt like she belonged, not just in her townhouse, but in her community. As the sun set, string lights twinkled overhead, and Sarah realized, if the delivery driver hadn't messed up that night, she might never have met these people. Sometimes the wrong order brings you to the right table. Life is less about what you planned and more about what unfolds when plans fall apart. The block party, the dumplings, the laughter under string lights, none of it was on Sarah's to-do list. But joy doesn't follow schedules. Stay positive, because when you do, you stop fighting the surprises and start celebrating them. And in that celebration, you find connection, community, and belonging.
A week later, the rain finally stopped. The sky cleared, sunshine spilled over rooftops, and sidewalks glistened from days of soaking. Mark walked out of his apartment, this time actually carrying his umbrella. Mrs. Anderson from down the hall spotted him and chuckled. Finally remembered it, huh? She teased. Mark twirled the umbrella like a sword and laughed. Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't really need it anymore. And with a grin, he closed it and slung it over his shoulder. Because forgetting the umbrella had taught him something bigger. You can't control every storm. But you can control how you walk through it. You can grumble, or you can splash. You can sulk, or you can dance. And in the end, the storms you thought would ruin you often become the ones you'll never forget. So, the next time the rain comes down and you're caught without an umbrella, don't curse the sky. Smile, step forward, and dance in it anyway.